Ooh, I smell French fries. I would like some good fries. I don't know if anybody's doing dinner right now. It's probably closing up. I'll probably go get some good fries tomorrow wherever I go. To go get this job tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to have to get up early tomorrow. Go home, eat me a salad, get up in the morning. It's a salad, chicken salad or something.
There's no line there.
$20 this one, of course.
Let me go get me a Coke. If it's Coke Zero, I don't care. I'll drink it. See, look at that. Oh, I see how much they are. $40. Yep. They don't even have my Appetite for Destruction shirt. That's okay. I'm buying from Peaches. Enough with the fairgrounds. What's going on? You supposed to work down here at the Yum Center? Isn't that the truth? They got that one thing going on down there. I heard, what's that North American, what you call it, coming down? And I heard they hiring people too. But I'm getting ready to start this job at Walmart, so I'm going to work at Labor Day tomorrow, though, because I need some money in my pocket to get me by. There are jobs, yep, there sure are, you know. I mean, I could have came up there and worked that thing, but, you know, I need something more reliable. You know, if I didn't have no job, I would have came up there, and I don't know how long it would have lasted. Ooh, look at her hair. Look at that. I like seeing these people coming out of here. Now, she looks like a white version of Nicki Minaj.
What are you saying?
I say, you look like a white version of Nicki Minaj.
Is that good or?
That's good.
Oh, thanks.
The hair and stuff. It ain't that cold out here. It's cold, but could be worse. It's cold, but it ain't too cold for me to get out. You want to talk about being cold? It'll be cold next week at this time of the day. It's supposed to be. It's going to be warm tomorrow, so you know I'm going to be out tomorrow. Go make this money if I got time when I get off. You know, if I got time when I get off, I'm going to, if I got time when I get off work, I'm going to Myers, and I go to Myers and go out and get something to eat somewhere. I wish somebody had a car. Jerome, he's at home, I guess. I don't know where he's at. He's trying to get work. He's going to work tomorrow at Churchill. I could have gone there tomorrow instead, you know, and I have to, but they got to be here at 7 a.m. and I did try to respond to it. They needed cooks, but I wanted the dishwashing job. I could have gone in and worked that from 2 to 10 tomorrow. I don't know if I have a white shirt, though. You know, I have to have a white shirt and black pants to wear to go to that job. And I tell you what, it's just like back in the day, one of these concerts. It was Riverfront Coliseum back in the day. Cincinnati. They either came to Riverfront, they went to Bogart, Cincinnati Gardens, Riverbend. Cincinnati was bigger, so they had more venues to have concerts. And probably got more now. I wish they did make a stop in Cincinnati. I found out they went to the Paul Brown Stadium last summer. I didn't even know they were there, so I guess if my friends did go, they probably might have went to that one. So they probably ain't coming to this one. Just something, you know, I'm up here, they got people dressed up like rock stars, and I'm dressed up like a hip-hop, I'm dressed up like a rapper, but that's why I like. I'm going with my flow, honey. I can mix all of it. Yeah, hey, I would like to see Guns, like I mentioned earlier, I sure would like to Guns N' Roses or somebody to make, you know, do a project, do a song with some of the rappers out here. Just a suggestion. Yeah, you know what? I'm surprised the homeless people ain't up here getting these free pops. I am really shocked to see not see these homeless people out here. But I need to stop and use the bathroom somewhere. So I don't know if this courtyard gonna let me go use it. I'm gonna start heading home. So I'm gonna get up tomorrow and go to work. They got pizza again. Impellerzini, that's pretty good pizza too. Impellerzini, whatever that is. They got some damn good pizza too. But it's expensive, but it's worth it. You know, that's where they got good pizzas here. All the good pizza is going to be about $20 at least for a large cheese pizza. I should, but I was trying to save my money for tomorrow and Sunday. I wouldn't mind getting one though. It'll be cold by the time I get home. I was just going to get one and take it home, but I wouldn't mind going and sitting in one of these restaurants, because you know what? Sunday it's going to rain, so maybe I should stop and eat somewhere, but look what time it is. I don't know what time these places close. I'm going to go home and eat this salad. I don't want my chicken in there to go bad. And I cooked the whole chicken. I don't know if it'll be any good to eat. I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. I baked it in the oven. So I don't know if it's any good. I haven't ate any of the chicken. So, sitting in the refrigerator. I'm just wondering if it'll be any good to eat. Let's go home, eat this salad, so, you know, now I'm eating something good tomorrow, because I'm craving restaurant food right now, with people in there eating. Some people came out of town to go to this thing, so, I can't wait to go to the bathroom, so, I'm going in here. All they can do is tell me to get out if they don't want me to come in there and use the bathroom. All they do is kick me out. Chicken, I don't know. I'm kind of read some things on chicken, but I'll eat my chicken. You just eat it cold. They said some things you reheat. I read something about chicken, if some foods that are dangerous if you eat them, and they said you reheat certain foods up, they can, oh yeah, can't get in. So, yep, they don't want us in there. I gotta pee. Oh, let's just walk back home. See what we got going on out here. It's hopping. I wish you could have hung out with Guns N' Roses. I wish I could go hang out with Slash and Duff. But one day I'll get to hang out with them. One day, like I said, if I do good, if I get this show going and start blowing up, I'll get to be hanging with all these people. That was my dream. That was my dream. My dreams of going to music business since I was 14. Yep. The first one to be a band chick, and then I decided I want to be a rapper.
And I'm like,
Could have done both. I could have done both if I wanted to. I just didn't have it for, I don't know. I could have done rock group stuff too. I could have been like a backup singer or something. I was in the rap game, got in there. I'd be doing all kinds of projects with the rock stars. I do all kinds of projects with them. I just won't do nothing with Kid Rock. I'm not doing one for his ass because he's a fucking Trump asshole. Shit. You got that right. I ain't doing shit with Kid Rock if I was a rapper. Now Slash, I'd have him on plenty of my projects. Yeah, I think he might have been in a rap video. I'm just forgetting. Thought I've seen Slash collaborate with rap artists. I just don't know who it was. I am live right now. If you want to talk to me, go live. Hop on here and I'll speak with you. Let me get on me now because I'm talking. That's me, I'm back. But I don't know, would you rather see me or see the traffic? Okay. They ain't gonna make me buy that. It's like I only see one black person at that concert, and she was with her white friend. Well, I'll tell you one thing. If I'd have gone to the concert, there'd be more black people. I've been bringing them up here. I would have. Like I said, I mean, you guys could have gone with me. I took Charmaine with me to this concert. You think Charmaine would have gone to this with me? Guns N' Roses? My aunt.
I meant to say they turn first, but I didn't get to say it.
Yeah.
Let me hold them while you got it.
Thank you.
People gone there. I know. Good luck. God bless. I needed that. You see what I found on the ground, people? I did. I said, man, I'm glad we didn't. Hey, I'm glad I got it first, so. I found this on the ground. You said by myself. You saying I should not have gone by myself? Oh, I said my friends in Cincinnati, boy, they didn't. I didn't hear back from them. My other friend, good friend that listened to Guns N' Roses with me. My friend has to work tomorrow. She said she would came here. Said she don't, she had to get up and work the next morning. I said, she could came up here tonight, but then she'd have to drive back to Cincinnati. She ain't got to go to Cincinnati. She just lives in Florence. It ain't probably an hour, not even 2 hours from here. She said she couldn't. She had to work. I guess she worked all day. She works at the friend I have. She works at a storage place. Actually, she runs a storage place. She lives on site and everything. Oh, man. That was a blessing. I found $5 on the ground. Well, I'll be using that to get to and from work tomorrow. When my son saw that, he was here, he would have got that $5 bill. I would have had it. My son's at his brother's house, so, if he was home, he might have came up here with me. I don't know if he would have done it or not. No, but I'm just saying, Aisha, would you have gone to this with me if I went? If Charmaine listens to this, would you go on with me too? Guns N' Roses. I just wish they had an after party. They had an after party, man. But I guess, like I said, those, I mean, now I have a friend of mine, I guess, rock bands, some of them don't, I guess a lot of them don't do after parties, but sometimes they do, because I have a friend, girl I grew up with in Cincinnati, her boyfriend is in a band. He has a band out there, so she stays out in Los Angeles now. He's often on tour, and she's usually home watching the fort and working in the promotions. She goes to a lot. They have a lot of after parties. Boy, I'd have fun with that, you know. If I had a man in the music, if I had a boyfriend in the music business, boy, I'd be doing the same thing. Out there supporting them and standing by them, just like Monty doing it with Turk. Yep. I mean, I'd be doing my own thing. I'd be out doing stuff myself. If I did have a relationship like that, I'd still be involved with his career, though. You know, we would be a team. You know, not that I have to have a man, but, you know, like I said, it ain't something on the top of my list, you know. I'm happy being single, because when you're single, it's just, you're not tied down so much. You know, like I said, as far as relationship goes, and then as far as that department, I haven't had good luck. I've had the worst luck. I've been with people that either treated me like shit or did me wrong or used me. Man would only be with me just because he wanted to leech off me and treat me like shit at the same time. Shoot. You don't really have a good selection up here where I live as far as men go. As far as the damn man goes, they homeless. They're homeless and they don't want to work, and they only want to get with a woman so they don't have to work. It ain't happening with me, honey. It ain't happening with me, baby. I said, man, I ain't trying to be picky. I guess I'm spoiled, but you know what? If I was with a man, he'd have to have everything I want in him. Everything I would want. It ain't bad. It ain't always money. It ain't something, you know, I'm not looking. Look at that. You see that? These guys are looking at me all stupid. Yep, that's right. Ain't nothing like being single. Like I said, you know, you know what I go for as a man? I go for him as a person. You know, I mean, I'm going to tell you this now as far as having to support a man. Now, you got men out here with money, have jobs and stuff, but they treat the women like shit, you know. I went to Bullitt County I had to work some kind of vote by, some kind of, politics and election thing last year, and went out to Bullitt County and had to knock on doors and talk to people, and you would have men answering the door for the women, and I would be there to talk to the woman, not the man. And this one guy, he was a total dick. I asked for this woman that was living there, and there was something that told me she might be in an abusive relationship. Because it's like when she came to the door, he stood right there to watch her. And you can tell that she was like, you know, she's probably in a room, laid up in there, because her husband won't let her leave the house without him. Won't let her work. Won't let her do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And see, you know, when I described what I was there for, I didn't really speak too loud, so I didn't want to hear that he was standing right there listening. And then once I left and shut the door, he yelled at me. I could hear yelling, all that stuff in there, what he was doing. Basically what I'm saying is, these men don't even tell, these men don't even allow the women to vote for who they want. They have to vote for them for their party. You know? And then sometimes if the woman wasn't there, but the man answered, he would sit there and say, well, she ain't voting Democrat and all that. You know, why is he talking for her? You know? You got men out there that marry these women. These women are miserable because the man won't let them do nothing. And I sat there and I said to myself, I said, you know what? I couldn't live like that. I would never have a man. My man would not do that. If I had a man like that, to be honest with you, I'm not saying I would have killed him, but I sure would have. You know, because sometimes when you try to leave the man, he'll start trying to keep you from leaving. You know what I'm saying? Do things to keep you from leaving. And, and just check in every part of your life. You're not even treated like a wife. You're treated like a child. You know? I said I could not be in a relationship like that. I said, if I had a man with a good job that didn't want me to work and he made buku bucks and wanted me to stay home all the time, if it was a choice between that or having a man that was leeching off of me, yeah, you got that right. I probably have killed him. I'd have killed his ass, maybe. If it was a guy that was trying to keep me from leaving him and stuff, I would have probably killed him. If I hated him so much, especially if I hate him so much. You know the movie Enough from Jennifer Lopez when she was in that movie? The asshole husband she had. Oh, his ass, I would have killed him right away. But that's pretty much kind of relation, but, like I said, out there. Just telling the man just wants to control these women. I can't do that. I can't do that. Yeah. That's what I was saying. I'd rather have a man that, say if I had to support a man because if he was good to me and he leached off of me, though, he didn't want to support himself, I would still rather have that man than the man that I was talking about there out in Bullitt County controlling they women. Shoot, at least that man that I probably support and got a lot in common with me. Not saying a lot in common, we would just do the same things, even if I had to pay to go out on the dates and stuff like that. Sometimes I would support, like I said, my man if he got to where he was, say a man got to where he couldn't work anymore, he became disabled, and I had to take care of him. I do that. That's when a man that's when I'll support a man, So I'll support a man. Yeah, but I've been held back as far as men concerned, and the good men I did have somehow disappeared out of my life. I had this man in college I liked, and then there was a man in New York I was seeing, and then I got locked up. Some things just happen, like they disappear. It's not that they try to disappear, but some things that were going on in our life just, they just where we couldn't be together. I don't have much luck, like I said, in that department. It's a family thing. I think it's a family thing because some people in my family are either like me or they've been married about 5 and 6 times. It's what they call the Morgan effect. Said more, like my Aunt Jolene said, Morgan girls don't have much luck. My last name ain't Morgan, but that's just farmers were married to the Morgan. My great-grandma's name was Morgan. My great-grandpa's name was Farmer, and that's where Farmer came from. And it came from my grandpa on my dad's side. That was his family. And then, like I said, then Dad, name is Farmer. So that's how he stuck with the name Farmer. I like the Farmer name, I really do. The people used to make fun of it. Joy Farmer's kind of hard to come by, but they're, you know what though, sometimes you look up to see if there's any people with the same name as you. Yeah, there is more than one Joy Farmer, just not many. There's a Joy Farmer out in Colorado somewhere. You know, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look up Joy Farmer again. I might send him a friend request, even though I don't know him. Hey, we have the same name. Joy Farmer. Now, I can't talk about my family. Somebody said I really ain't supposed to have the name Farmer. Because my grandpa, basically what happened was my great-grandma went away to college at Eastern and had a one-night stand with somebody and got pregnant, but we never knew who the man was. If his last name was Robertson or whoever it was, Robinson was the guy's last name. And she had my grandpa. But then my aunts and uncles, she had them. You want me to tell you what happened with my great-grandma? My great-grandma, and that last name was Morgan, but it changed to Farmer. Let me tell you a story, and you're going to laugh and think this is the most messed up shit. Well, my family came from the Appalachian Mountains. They all lived in Leslie County. Some of them lived in Hazard, Harlan County, Clay County. And they had this belief where you got married or got with somebody once and it didn't work out, that you could not get married again. But actually it wasn't the case with my great-grandma. See, I'm glad I got the privacy settings on this set to where my family cannot see this, because I swear to God, if they heard me talking like this, I'd really be causing some shit in the family, because my parents don't like me to go around and talk about family business to other people. I got in trouble one time for doing that. Big trouble. I was like, I don't know how old I was. But what happened was, my great-grandma, when she was away at college, she had a one-night stand with this guy. She got pregnant and had to leave and go back home to Leslie County. Had to go back home to Stinnett, Kentucky. And when she went home, she wound up having to marry her cousin, first cousin, which he's not, I guess, not really directly my great-grandpa. He's supposed to be a first cousin. The Farmers was first cousins with the Morgans. So when she got married to him, she got married to a first cousin. They did that down there in the mountains, you know, because they wanted people to get married, keep the family going, keep having kids, and, you know, you really didn't have you didn't really have much selection down there. So, you know, if you couldn't find nobody, you married your first cousin. I mean, at least it could have been worse. You could have married your brother or your sister. Incest shit be going on down there, I swear. That's why you got people down there. You got blue people, because they said there's been so much inbreeding for so many generations. That's what happens to these people. So she had, I know. Well, she had my aunt and uncle with my great-grandpa or cousin. I just say great-grandpa Farmer. Yes. And tell you how they turned out. Well, my aunt and uncle were kind of slow, and I mean, they weren't really deformed, nothing, but they was born with mental disabilities because of that. They were born with mental disabilities resulting from that, and wound up, well, my aunt, she was about in her 20s when she married somebody, and the guy she was with really did her bad. So she wound up wasn't with him but a few months, and she had my dad's cousin with him. And basically, she had to raise the cousin on her own. My great-grandparents, of course, had to raise him. And then my uncle never had a girlfriend in his life. Well, he had maybe 2, 3 girlfriends, and they took advantage of him. You know, because they knew he was slow. He was kind of, you know. Some of our mental problems come from that shit, you know. Even though we not inbred, but somebody did some inbreed. I ain't direct from inbred. Grandpa wasn't inbred. But he never knew who his daddy was. So daddy was supposed to be inbred. Great-grandpa Farmer was his dad. So we had to use the family name Farmer. You know, we never found a guy. So really, my grandpa's last name should have been Morgan. You know, Morgan should have probably been my last name. I like the name Morgan, though. Morgan's down on Eastern Avenue. You know, that's why else I rode down there. That was my family name. A lot of people named Morgan. It could have been my family down there. Never knew. Okay, the only way you could actually, this is the only way back then that you might have married somebody that wasn't related to you. Because, like, say, Morgan's, this is what happened. Because people had a lot of kids back in them days. You know, because they had to help out on the farms and stuff like that. Well, somebody was married to Hoskins. Some Hoskins down there. And let's say somebody in the family, like let's say a woman or a man goes out marries somebody. Well, they got brothers and sisters. So your brother or sister might marry one of the brothers and sisters. That's the only way. You probably went, you know, with the fact you didn't have a lot of people to choose from. That was the only way you could avoid inbred. Was to say if someone in your family found somebody and they had brothers and sisters, everybody marries brother and sister. So, but it wasn't the case with my great-grandma. She had wind up marrying her first cousin. I mean, I got a picture of them too, and if you look at them, you can see they look like they're related to each other. I'm gonna show you some pictures when I get home. I'm gonna share them with you. I got some pictures of when they're from Appalachians, and they're just like the Clampetts. They used to compare us to the Clampetts all the time. My grandpa, he was short. He was a little guy, but even with his accent, the way he talks, his voice sounds just like Jed Clampett. Yep, we lived like the Clampetts. Everything. I wish I had more pictures, but actually, the aunt that I was talking about, my grandpa's sister, she's still alive, you know. She's doing all right, you know. She had her rental problems wasn't as bad as my uncle's. But wasn't mental illness. It was just, you were slow. But, you know, when her marriage didn't work out, she didn't get married again. You know, they just had that belief if that your first marriage didn't work out, you did not marry anymore. And if you did, you married in a family. So, what happened was, my aunt and my uncle from there lived with mom and dad their whole life. They never moved out on their own, except, like I said, my aunt got married that time, it didn't work. And, you know, my uncle, it's kind of sad, though, they just had to live with my great-grandparents. But, see, that's the thing. They probably thought that since they was disabled that they couldn't be out on their own. But back then, that's how they looked at you. If you had mental disorder, if you was slow or something like that, you were not allowed to leave your family. You stayed at home. You know, they stayed at home until they died, and let's see, my great-grandparents died in the late 80s. Yeah. It was in 88, my great-grandma passed away, and then great-grandpa only passed away 6 months later in 89. Man, it was something else, because anytime my great-grandma, when she died, you know, see, my great-grandma died from cancer, but I say other family. I think she had the most sense. Her and my grandpa. But my great grandpa, they said he was kind of he already had some things with already was mental, because he was, see, that's what I'm saying. They had to done some more inbred in the farmer family. So, when she died, he was getting that Alzheimer's. He was losing his memory by the minute. And it was like April, he's in a nursing home, and he died from heart attack. He just was sitting at the lunch table and then just went out. So my aunt and uncle lived in that house that they stayed in, and they stayed in Hardinsburg, Indiana. It's right around Paoli. They stayed in that big white house by themselves, and then when my uncle died in 95, he didn't die like 6 years later. So my aunt was pretty much on her own. I think she was able to keep the house, so she had to move. She lived in apartments, but she will not leave Hardinsburg. She's 89 years old, living in a house. She has to stay in Hardinsburg. She won't go stay at a high-rise or senior citizen, not a nursing home, but, somewhere where she's around stuff. She chooses to stay way out there where and not have a car. She don't have a car. She can't drive. If my grandma and grandpa tried to teach her to drive, and her nerves was bad, and my grandma lost patience with her. I don't know why she just, they never, my uncle now, he did learn to drive, but if he drove, he was only one in the family that was driving when I was growing up. And when he only drove 25 miles an hour on the highway in that big ass brown car. Remember how set cars were in the 70s? Those big cars, big long cars. Man, I'm gonna tell you what, big metal heaps. But I kind of like those big cars anyway. I like the old metal heaps better than what they make now, because now the cars ain't, it's easy to wreck them and stuff. They're not safe like the metal heaps were. But no, they stayed. My uncle, he died in 95, and my aunt wound up having to get an apartment. But the problem was, every time she needed to go somewhere, she's got to get a ride from somebody. And I got aunts and uncles and other family that live in Fredericksburg and places around where she's at, and they have to drive, I don't know how far, it's like 20 minutes, 15-minute drive to go get her and take her everywhere she's got to go. And it was kind of wearing my Aunt Jolene out for a minute, because she kept having to take her there. Yeah, I'm almost home. I'm halfway there. She I'm telling you. She would you talking about my family. Yeah, but my aunt just got me, and she would complain to my mom and dad, say, I have to go pick her up. And sometimes my aunt would just call her. Man, my aunt would call her every minute. Phone would always be ringing. Well, see, my aunt now, I did forget to mention, she was married to another guy. Married to Kermit. She married him. It was like early 2000s when she got married, and then he passed away like 5-7 years later. Kermit. So she was. Some did. I will come out and say it, but some did and some didn't. Some of them were actually so backwards they couldn't understand nothing. I don't know. I think that's what my aunt's problem is in Hardinsburg. That's to be honest. Because I tried to get her to go and live in a high-rise in New Albany, and she don't want to do it. And Salem, Indiana, like I was telling, frustrates the hell out of my mom and dad, though, because, she's so damn picky about where to live. They're trying to tell her to move into town to Salem or something. Can't talk to her. Yeah, but unfortunately, yes, there are people like that in my family. Those are ones I didn't get along with. Those are ones I get into it with all the time, like cousins and shit. I even got cousins that are so damn prejudiced they don't want to talk to me. That's alright. Salem, Indiana, they don't have but all they have is white people. You ain't got Mexicans, nothing. And even though Irish people are white, I mean that's what my family over there got in them. You're basically a minority there because most of the people living over there, white people, are Germans and English people. Germans and English. You know how Irish are. We're totally different. The English used to. See, I'm telling you, if you're Irish, you're considered a minority. People on my side there was Irish and English. And British or somewhere. The Morgan name actually came from Wales, but, we had other names in the family that was Irish, like Begleys. I don't know what the other last names were. You can tell my grandpa, he was short, and the way he looked, he was Irish. And I had Irish on grandma's side, too. My grandma farmer. I mean, I will even say this, that now on my grandma's side, I have ancestors who were actually slaves from Ireland and Scotland, and then I had ancestors that were slave owners from England. A lot of times, some of the slaves married the slave owner's sons or something like that. Is what used to happen. It's history. Some of my Irish ancestors some of them were slaves and some of them were actually indentured servants. Now, if they worked for the Strange's family, they were slaves because their names they were Scottish. I had family that was named Alloways, and when they came to America, their name was Strange. The Stranges were slave owners, and that's where they left the boat. They left out on Liverpool, England. So, I can learn a little bit about slave history there, where slaves put slaves on, the slave trade was packing them on boats that they left Liverpool, England. Some people deny that the Irish were slaves, but no, it was reality, it was true. In fact, England had invaded Ireland, took everything. They basically controlled everything. Took dependence away from the Irish, and what was so bad was the Irish even had to pay the English to live in their own country. You basically had to pay the Englishman rent. You didn't pay a rent, the Englishman went and kicked you out of your own place. Isn't that fucked up? And then when it come to the potato famine, because of the winter, there were no potatoes and everybody was starving to death, the English didn't help us. They just left them there. That's how a lot of Irish came to America, because to escape the potato famine. Now, there wasn't a whole bunch of Irish that were slaves, but then when they first started the slave trade, that's where they started. Yep, they started in Ireland before they went even to Africa, and then started, making black people slaves. But mostly the Irish had more discrimination when they came to New York, when a lot of them that didn't come over here as slaves and went, escaped, went north. They would settle in the north over in New York, and I'm telling you, you ever watch the Gangs of New York movie? Well, that kind of it told us that one pretty much tells a story about Irish history. Now, sometimes, kind of explains, like, the thing with Irish people, maybe the difference, is that when the slaves gave us our name, a lot of times it was easy to find out where our last name was. It's just that Alloway was, they basically got it where it's Alloway-Strange. So, it was easy to find out who the names were. But they was from Scotland. And then we had McLeans that were from Ireland. And I think the other one, McClintocks, they were from Ireland. What a name, McClintocks. You know what else? Elizabeth Coffey. She was actually, you look her up, sometimes your ancestors in history were actually well known. Now I don't know Elizabeth Coffey was Jewish. So we actually had some Jewish on that side too. And then there was found some other Jewish names. What they was, but I found some like Jewish last names in my family on that side, and yeah, but I'm not. But see, as far as my Irish history, there's really, that's when when your family was slaves. There's not much. You can't really go. It's hard to really find out and learn about them back in the days because they go back so far. It just tells you their name and all that, but don't tell you any other information about them. And it took forever to probably find out there was Irish people as slaves because. History, British probably kept it from us, didn't want us to know about our history. You tell people that are Irish, about their history, they don't know. They don't even teach it in the social studies classes. They don't teach it in high school where you can understand. So, Irish people went through racism and discrimination too. Black people went through worse, though, because black people, I think, have been discriminated worse than any other race. Worse than Hispanics, worse than the Jews, worse than the Irish, anybody. Mexicans. Because, there were Irish people, after the, I'm not saying they were actually, from what I had noticed and can interpret about history. I think once emancipation happened, when people no longer were slaves, they took jobs. Some of the Irish people had money that, owned like, black people often took jobs working for them. And, and that's how some of them may have wound up with Irish last names. But as far as when black people came here as slaves, and as far as their last name, you got, talking about which country was in the slave trade in Europe, England did more than any of them did. The more, it seemed like all your slave masters, most of them came from England. I don't know where else they came from. I don't know if the French, some of them came from France. Somebody said they heard the Spanish did it too. But, yeah, I know they had, I guess you have to learn about which ones was involved. What happened to this button? I'm home now, but look what they did with this button here. I'm going to show you. Look at that. I swear, we cannot have anything good in this apartment building here. People come in and they tear shit up, drunk. I hate this shit. See, that's why they don't fix shit around here sometimes. They're tired of people messing shit up. They mess the elevators up and stuff. I don't know why. I hope this elevator ain't messed up today. I'm going to get in here, change my clothes, get me something to eat, and relax. So I have to get up tomorrow. But, you know, I hope everybody has enjoyed my videos tonight and hearing me talk about my family history and talking about history in general. You know, yeah, but if you all want to know more about Irish being slaves back in history, look it up. You may want to look it up. There's all kinds of things to read about. There, you know, I used to read about the voyages. There's a guy named, his name was George Cromwell. Cromwell was his last name, Cromwell. He was one of the, I guess, masterminds that started slave trade in the first place. You know, I even heard rumors about Christopher Columbus being involved in the slavery. And you know what? Because of that, the way he treated the Indians, the way he treated the Indians and stuff, that's why I don't celebrate Columbus Day. Because you know what he did? Yeah, he found this country. We was able to leave. We had enough political unrest in the country we came from. You know, I think, I'm not saying slavery was good, but it brought us over here because, you know, what could we be experiencing if we never came over here? If our ancestors did not come here, they suffered for us to be here. We'd be in a country where we probably didn't have, I don't know. I'm going to get off here for a minute because I got to change clothes, use the bathroom. I'll be back on here later though.